Hey, thanks, Ian. Scott, great to speak to all of you. I'm just going to give you three bullets about my background real quick because I think it's helpful to understand my perspective. Also, sorry, I didn't get the sport coat memo, guys. So next time I'll be better prepared. So listen, I was a career CIA officer. This is how long I go back. I was a KGB, Soviet KGB analyst for the CIA, which is a skill set I thought would never become relevant again. But in the Putin era and the Xi era in China, I think it is. I also was Condoleezza Rice's lawyer for intelligence and counterterrorism operations, and then cybersecurity when we began looking at that after 9/11. And so advised the National Security Council, President, Secretary of Defense, National Security Advisor Rice, and most relevantly, was involved in drafting the first national strategy to secure cyberspace, which I'm happy to say for those of you who are fans of bipartisanism in the United States, has held up pretty well over the last 25 years, very similar to the current strategies. So look, for the last 20 so years, I've been a cyber national security lawyer, law of war lawyer, and consulting expert. And I've been a senior advisor to Palantir since 2006 when they had 15 employees. And my main role there has been and is to run an outside advisory council helping Palantir see around corners, future world developments, future technology developments since around 2010. Why did I mention that? Well, the reason is that as I look around the corners right now, what I have seen has led me to leave my current position at the University of California, Irvine, where I run a cybersecurity institute, and focus on what I believe is the most important security mission for the coming decades. I believe that the US, Canada, and all Western democracies, and Israel, Australia, et cetera, so not just Western, are already in a global conflict with authoritarian regimes, principally the People's Republic of China and Russia, to determine whether democracy will be replaced with authoritarianism in the 21st century. And I see it exactly that starkly. I'm not using hyperbole. This competition, I believe, is going to determine our great-grandchildren's future and whether our children will have to fight a hot war or this competition will be resolved through technology and expertise. And this is why I'm leaving my job at UC. I've been working with the White House and Treasury on a number of cybersecurity initiatives. I took a position as general counsel to a startup on quantum encryption a few years ago, and now I'm honored to support Plurilock's vital mission. Why? Because in my view, whoever gets there first, whether it's us or whether it's the bad guys, on artificial intelligence, on cybersecurity, on quantum computing, and on chip security, semiconductor security, will have the best chance of winning this war without any shots fired. And as we learned last week, our cyber infrastructure remains riddled with single points of failure. And while the CrowdStrike Microsoft incident does not appear to have involved a cyber attack, it does show the folly of relying on a single technology or a single approach to defend our critical infrastructure's most vital capabilities and information. Instead, reliable cybersecurity depends not on a single tool or a single approach, although technology is important, but including Plurilock's behavioral biometrics-based constant authentication, but no technology, including AI, can replace qualified experts to triage threats, set up and constantly improve a cybersecurity program, and respond to attempted or successful attacks. And we're looking at millions of unfilled cybersecurity jobs right now and for the foreseeable future, and these cannot be replaced with machines. So critically, in my view, real durable cyber and data security requires a team of bona fide experts who understand not just the cybersecurity aspects, but the legal and regulatory environment clients are operating, the global threats they face as they evolve, the true needs, real business priorities, and vulnerabilities of each individual client. And again, and sometimes most importantly, the current and emerging legal and regulatory landscape and requirements for each client. Human experts up to date on all available technical tools, best practices, and legal and regulatory environments are critical to any critical infrastructure or other business to develop solutions tailored to their specific business needs. And in my estimation, having had some very deep conversations with the Plurilock team, their critical services folks excel at this. I'm just going to give one important example of what I'm talking about, then I'm going to shut up unless people have questions. an important example of the critical infrastructure challenges we face in what, again, I think is probably going to be a century-long conflict is winning the semiconductor race. This is why the president and Congress, who can't agree on almost anything, passed the CHIPS Act. This is why we're so focused on reshoring a lot of our chip manufacturing. And I predict that the combination of skills and technologies developed to defend semiconductor manufacturing and their supply chain will be highly relevant to protecting quantum computing technologies and other capabilities in the future. So think of it like this. If you go out and hire a Deloitte or an Accenture, you might get the very best people they have, but odds are you won't. If you hire a team like Plurilock, you will always get the A team, if you want to say the special operations forces, as opposed to the regular army, who can throw hundreds of thousands of bodies and very brave soldiers, but can't do that targeted capability of attack and defense. My CEO boss at Palantir, Alex Karp, likes to say he would rather have 5 world-class engineers than 5,000 very good engineers. And that's what we have, I think, at Plurilock. I could talk a lot about the potential for the need for offensive cyber capabilities, hackback capabilities, and the legal and regulatory landscape around that. But I think I'll just end with this. One thing that's very important to me, and if you Google me, you'll see that I've been very outspoken about TikTok and the Chinese government and things like that, is that Plurilock is entirely made up of infrastructure and employees outside of high threat adversary areas like the PRC and Russia. And that is not always the norm. So thanks. If there's any questions, I'll be happy to take them. And if anybody wants to follow up, feel free to get a hold of me.